Hi there, many thanks for tuning in. Martin here at Martin's Bazaar. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen recently that I have posted some pictures of scorched and stained bowls. And a few people have asked me how I did it. So today's video is about how I made this American ash bowl that has been scorched and stained. Thank you very much indeed for asking, those that did, and also thank you very much indeed for following me on Facebook, subscribing to me on YouTube. There'll be lots more videos like this to come. And yeah, here we go. Here is a video about how I made this scorched and stained American ash bowl. Thanks for watching. Step one of making a scorched and stained bowl is get your blank on the lathe. I've got this one mounted on a worm screw. It's a 7-inch blank of, I think it's American ash, I'm not absolutely certain, but first of all I need to get it true and shape the outside, and also put a recess in the bottom so I can flip it round to do the inside. And when I get to the point of scorching and staining, I will come back to you. Okay, here we go. The bowl's been sanded down to 400 grit, and now with a little blowtorch I'm going to scorch the outside and hopefully highlight some of the grain. Must remember to dust down your lathe first before you start this, because you don't want to catch fire to anything or set fire to anything. Let the flame stabilise. And then fairly quickly, lightly, just scorch the bowl where you want to highlight the grain, and with the point of the bluest flame, you need to get that onto the wood, as that is the hottest part of the flame. Got to be careful when doing this, because if you get the wood too hot too quickly, it's going to split, as I found out several times. And I find that by by rotating the wood as you go, it gives the stuff that we've already done a bit of time to cool down a little bit before you get round again. Can you see there that the grain's coming out nicely? That'll do. Yeah, nice and warm, but not too hot. Next thing, sand it down to 600 grit and then apply the stain. I've decided to use a yellow stain and a blue stain from UK company Chestnut Products, from their rainbow range. Really nice, bright, punchy colours. And where I've got a bit of a feature, like here, I'm going to put some yellow in there, I think, and just blue in there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have a bit of a play. So with a blob of blue roll, let's get some of the stain on there and just rub it in, just like so. And the yellow will darken the scorch mark a little bit. Move it round a bit. I think I'll put some more yellow under there. You don't have to be too precise at this point. In fact, you don't have to be particularly precise with it at all. Get creative with it. Make it a little bit random if you want to. You can always sand it off if you need to and start the process again. That's good for the yellow, at least for the moment. Now a bit of blue. That's the yellow top. A bit of blue. Same again, a little bit of blue roll or a little bit of paper towel. Find a spot and start rubbing. Now I don't go straight ahead and blend the colours, other than where it's really faint, like at the top here, and then that comes out as kind of, where the blue and yellow mix rather, it comes out as green, of course. Yellow and blue make green. A bit up the top there. Push the colour into the join. Oh, I'm going to get blue fingers now. I haven't got a glove on this hand. Then just blend the colour together. Like so. Now it still looks a little bit of a mess at the minute, which it will do. Now you can see the colour beginning to blend together there. there we go. That's the staining of the underside done. I'm going to let the stain dry for a little while, and then I might sand it back a little bit more with the 600 grit, apply the oil and finish, and then flip it round and do the inside. Just back from lunch, the stain has now dried. I'm going to run some 600 grit paper over the surface of it, just to take off any excess stain that's dried on the surface, and also to perhaps bring out a little bit of the natural colour of the wood, and then add the oil and the finish to it. I just used Danish oil, and because the workshop's quite cold at the moment, I think the oil is beginning to get a bit solid. There we go, look, it's coming out and it's a bit gloopy, but not to worry, it goes on okay. And as you can see, the oil brings out, deepens the black, the blue and the yellow. Looks amazing with this, with the oil, so give it a good rubbing over. After you've done the oil, a bit of wood turner's lathe polish goes on. To act as a sealer. And this also acts as, it also helps to take off a bit more of the excess, but I notice it doesn't particularly blend the colours together. Leave that to dry for a few minutes and then come back and give it a good buffing. Oh, after it's buffing, as you can see, it's really lovely and shiny. The colours really pop out, and now all I need to do is turn it round and do the inside and the rim of the bowl. Okay, I've turned the bowl around in the chuck, taken out the middle of the bowl, sanded it down to 400. I've pretty much left the top of the wall of the bowl because I'm going to leave this bit natural and scorch and stain the inside. So let's scorch and stain the inside, shall we? And 10 minutes or so, or a few minutes have passed since I put the lathe polish on. Now just to give it a final big buffing up. More blue roll. After the wood turner's lathe polish has been applied and buffed, I've just put a couple of, well, probably 4 coats of wood wax number 22 on the bowl, and it is finished. Blah 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 blah. Ah, that sounds rubbish.